Hello, Julie here, and thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be making a card, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to try a new technique today. I have cut myself a card base that's 5 1/4 inches square. I've cut another piece of white cardstock that is 4 1/4 inches square. Did I say 5? 5 1/4 inches, 4 1/4 inches, and this one's 3 inches. Now, I'm going to use my stamping platform to stamp, but first of all I want to position these on here so that they're centered on top of each other. So to do that, I'm going to use some of this Pixie Spray. Now, I haven't used this before in this way, and oh dear me, there we go. So I'm going to just spray a little bit onto the back and then position that on there. So I'm going to try and put that in as central a position as I can. Okay. Then I'm going to add a little bit to the back of this one. So I've just added a little bit there. I don't know whether you can see it or not. And I'm going to position that centrally on that one. Okay. Right, so that worked. Hopefully I'll be able to get them off. Now, I want to use my stamping platform because I want to make sure that I get a good image for this. First of all, I'm going to heat emboss it, so I'm going to cover the whole thing with embossing powder because I want to make sure that I get a nice clean image. That's not embossing powder, with embossing buddy. So I'm going to put that on there like so. I'm going to put my magnets out to the side here to hold that in place. And I'm going to use this floral design stamp. I got this from Down Under Scrapbooking. They're an Australian company, or well, an Australian online shop, I think. I don't think they have a bricks and mortar store. And I'm going to position that over the top of that, like so. Now, I don't think I've used this stamp before, so I will just wipe that down with, it's an alcohol wipe. I won't use alcohol, I'll use a normal baby wipe, just to give this a good clean up, because as I said, I don't think I've used it before, and I want to make sure that I've got the best opportunity of this working nice and cleanly. I'm only going to get one shot at this, I think, so I want to make sure I try and get it as best I can. So I'm just getting all the moisture off of that stamp, right down into those grooves and everything that I can. Now I'm going to use my Versafine Onyx black ink and give this a good coat of black. Now this Versafine black ink is perfect. It's nice and fine and stamps clearly, and it's a nice juicy ink pad, so I always get plenty of ink onto my project. And I'm going to now stamp that down. I'm going to apply some pressure because, as I said, I want to try and make sure that I get as good an image. And because I've got those layers on there, it might be a little bit tricky around where the grooves are. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Not that great at all, really, is it? So let's try again. Let's add some more ink. And go again. Now this is why I'm using my stamping platform, because I want to be able to stamp back on top of, in exactly the same spot until I get a thorough coverage. And as I said, with those layers on there, it's really hard to get what I'm going to have to do is remove the layers. So, take this off. That's not going to work, is it? Yeah, well, so I'm going to remove this and stamp this. I'll stamp that. I don't know whether it's the stamp or what the problem is here, but I'm having trouble getting that stamp to stamp cleanly all over. I'm not too worried about the middle because, as you know, I'm going to put layers on here, but I do want it around the edge, so I think that will be alright. Now I'm going to take the next layer, lay that on here. That goes about maybe there like that, I think. Now, let's see if I can get this to stamp in the middle. Too bad, but do it again. Yep, that's good. Now this one. Now where does this one go? Right there. Okay. Now this one we need a full coverage because this is going to be our top layer. So I'm going to try and get as much as possible on this one. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now I'm going to give the whole thing another stamp because I want to make sure that that ink is wet enough to accept the embossing powder. Okay, so I'm going to now use my clear embossing powder and emboss each of those layers. Might just try doing them on top of each other. See how that goes. Hopefully it will work. Right. Now I'm going to use my heat gun and heat that up. Now I'll do that off screen because it's noisy and you have seen plenty of heat embossing done before, so I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, so there are my 3 pieces and I have heat embossed them. Now I'm going to try and put them back where they were. So maybe upside down or something. That's better. So, like that. And this one. I'm just going to try and push them down. That will just hold it temporarily. So now I'm going to use some distress inks and I'm going to colour this. I'm using squeezed lemonade for the yellow. Now I'm not doing any particular design for this, it's just a sort of muted all over pattern. Just a bit of ink blending of assorted colours. As I said, I'm trying to make sure that my colours or my pieces stay in the correct spot, which is not that easy. The Pixie Spray, I think, has lost its stick because of the heat embossing. You know, the heat has made it ineffectual. Okay, now I've got some mint tape here. I'm just going to run a bit of that down here because I don't want to get any ink outside of that area. Okay, now I'm going to go onto the orange. For the orange I'm using carved pumpkin. So once again, just no rhyme or reason here, just adding some colours where we need a bit of variation. Trying to make sure I get well into those, you know, where the overlaps are. If you're not careful, you will leave a white section there, although that's probably not going to matter in the end because I'm going to add more here. A little bit more here, maybe right through there, and a little bit more over here. So you can see there, if I didn't have that tape in place, I would have overlapped onto my white area that I probably don't really want to. So I'm going to change from the orange now and go to the pink. I haven't used a pink dopper before, so this is a new foam for that. You only really need like the one wood. Ooh, that's dark, isn't it? Try and get that back in place. Because I've got my hand on it holding it in place, it's a bit hard to see the placement of the colour and what I need, what colours I need in where. But oh well, we'll just have to wing it, I guess, see what we think. We can always come back with more of another colour if we need it. So that is a colour, and I think I'm going to just come back in with a little bit of yellow, brighten up the yellow in a few areas. Add a little more yellow in there, and a little more yellow up here. Just brighten actually all of the yellow up a little bit so that it has the same sort of strength as the other colours. Put a little bit in here. Change the tone of that pink a little. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so what do we think? Do we need a little bit more orange, or have we got enough colour, do you think? A little bit more orange, just here and there. There we go. Just a little bit darker. Okay, that's enough colour, I think. So, I'm just going to let that dry for a while. I know that they don't take long to dry, but I prefer to let them dry properly, and I won't use my heat gun on it because that tends to buckle the cardstock and also changes the colour of the ink, I think. So I'll let that dry and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've peeled this off now and we've still got our nice straight line, and we can reuse that, so I'll just stick it up there. Now, while I was waiting for that to dry, I've cut 2 pieces of black cardstock. This piece is 3 inches square, so I've cut this piece 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and I'm going to stick that onto there. I'm going to use my art glitter glue to do that. Position that centrally on that black square. And this piece was 4 1/4, so I've cut this piece 4 3/8, and I'm going to attach that onto that. Once again, try and centre that on that square, and rub that so it's nice and firmly stuck in place. Now we're going to attach that to that, and that to that, to make our card front. Now we could put some depth in that, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to attach that flat. I think we've got enough happening there that we don't really need more height. So that can go over there like so. And then this one will get stuck. There. Like so. With a little bit of ink there, and I have a eraser here, so I'm just going to see if I can get rid of that. Maybe not. Okay, so that is our card front. Now we just need to have a sentiment. I don't think it needs any other embellishment on it apart from a sentiment, so I'm going to have a look what sentiments I have, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got this happy birthday. It must be in a kit or something like that because it's on cardboard and I haven't got a stamp to match that, so I've got it in a kit somewhere along the line, probably from Uniquely Creative or something like that. So I'm just inking around the edge of that, and I'm going to mount that onto a piece of cardboard. So I will give this a little bit of height. I don't want it to poke out, so I'm going to just attach that. To the sentiment, and So by having this on white, it's going to help it stand out. Now I don't know whether to put it in the middle or whether to put it down here. I think I'm going to put it, no, I think I'm going to put it there at the top actually, in between the flowers. Just make sure I get that on there straight. So there we have it. So a nice bright colourful card. Yeah, inking technique, use up those inks. So I've got lots of these distress inks and I don't use them very often, so this is a good way to get them out, and yeah, I'm very happy with that card. So I've put a sentiment inside, and to do that I've used this stamp here. It's Swirly Birthday Verses from Phil Martin at Sentimentally Yours, and I've used that one there, and I've stamped that with the same Versafine black ink. So there we have my project for today. I will put links below to all of the products I've used, and I hope you've enjoyed watching my video, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Thank you.